that's the part I can see the most of. So normally when you do botanical blooms and you use the back of your brush, they stand out quite clearly. And the paint didn't really move, so I don't know why I can't see them clearly, but they're just, maybe just because of the natural sort of lines in the painting anyway, I think that's what it could be. But anyway, they're very pretty how they've turned out. But I'm really struggling. I have to probably do this on my lap. And the marker is not marking very well. So it's coming out. Anyway, so there, it's coming out better there now. So there's the head around there, I think. But these colours are really lovely, and I mean, they are unique to blowouts. Even though this was a mouth blowout, you couldn't get this with, if you took your acrylic colours and tried to mix them like this, there's just no ways you could achieve this. So that is what I love about acrylic pours. But to be stuck on blooms forever is not my idea of fun. So anyway, I'll bring you back once I've made some more progress. I need to hold the canvas with my other hand. I've drawn on the peacock with the silver marker, and I really couldn't see much of the lines I'd made with the back of the paintbrush, but where I could, I used them. So each page is different. I had to bring the body lower down. It was too close to the head was too big in proportion. And now that I've done all that, I like the background, so I don't want to destroy the background. And I don't really need to keep it in the body. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to outline the body in green, partly, and in blue. And then the feathers as well. And then, depending on how that looks, I think I'll just leave the background as it is. So in this painting, the acrylic blowout will form the background of the painting, and the body of the bird will be in the colours of the peacock. Not as they are now, because with the silver markings I've kind of messed up a bit anyway, I can't remove it. But again, I'll see it. I'll take it step by step, because as it evolves, it might look different to what I imagine. So I'll bring it back once I start with the painting. I'm not going to use the same paints that I used to pour out the painting, simply because they're too thin. So I'm just going to make fresh acrylic paint on my palette with a little bit of water and a thin brush, and mark the outlines like that, and then see whether I should leave the inside as it is. See, the head is quite dark, but I'll see if there's enough contrast once I've outlined the body. So I'll bring you back once I start with that. Well, I first dipped my brush in the original container of the paint, and then I added a little fresh paint just to make it a bit thicker. So it's still, the silver's still showing through. I'll have to do that again. But I'll do the legs now, and I'll do everything where I can in green, and then I'll do some blue, and I'm going to use I think an ultramarine blue, which is darker than this blue, and see if that will show up on this mixture of black and green and blue. I think it will. And then I'm going to do the eyes now. Those eyes, these eyes, and the feathers. And I'm not going to be as detailed as I was in the big painting of the peacock, because this is really too small. I'm just going to do the outline in green, and maybe I'll put some blue in part of the center, and then I might leave this part in this silver marker, or I might use some silver paint. So I think I've made these eyes way too big actually in proportion to the bird, but to make them smaller is really difficult with that marker pen. Anyway, so I'll keep going. I'll do this on my lap, it'll be easier and I can see better, and I'll bring you back when I have more to show. This is how it looks so far, and one thing that's nice about it is it dries almost instantly, so that enables you to carry on working. So I'm going to put the beak back in this ultramarine blue, and yeah, I like the drawing with the acrylic marker pen, although the one problem is where you make mistakes, you can't wipe it off. So yeah, there's the pluses and the minuses, the drawbacks of every technique. I've never used a marker pen before, so that's a first for me. Not in this context anyway. So now I'm going to put a little blue of this ultramarine blue in the center of each eye. It's not really covering the silver very well, silver marker. That's okay, there's about 3 or 4 different colors in the eye of a peacock anyway, so I was going to put a bit of white in there as well, but I really don't think I'm going to go into that sort of detail here. All I want to see now is whether I should leave the background as it is, not just in the body but in the background of the painting. And so far I'm liking it, and I think I'm going to do that. But tell me what you think in the comments. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. It won't cost you anything, and you just will receive a notification when my next video is out, and so that you can be aware of it in case you didn't know, because normally I post twice a week, but sometimes because the videos are in parts, part 1 and part 2, sometimes part 3 and 4, because each part cannot be longer than 15 minutes, and sometimes it's impossible to put them into 15 minutes. It's like only 10 minutes, because the segments that I upload, if I uploaded more, then it would go over the 15, it would go up to 16, and so then I have to carry it over to the next video. And until I get enough subscribers and comments and the algorithm recognizes me, I probably won't be allowed more than 15 minutes per video. So, because I've tried verifying my account and it just doesn't seem to work. So, yeah, anyway, but the whole point is that I do want people to enjoy my videos and to let me know what they think. And like now, if you were doing this painting, would you leave the background as it is, or would you cover it in black and just leave the colors in the bird? I don't think I want to leave the colors just in the bird. First of all, there isn't enough of the bird to just leave the colors, and it's such a pity to remove all of this, that I'd rather, if there was a choice, I'd rather color this in green and this in blue and leave the outside as it is. I think it'll be lovely. Anyway, I'll bring you back when I have more to show. This is how it's looking so far, and I like it. I had to go back and do a second round of the blue. The first round wasn't showing clearly because it's ultramarine and the black from underneath was showing through. So now it looks better. Probably in a few places I can still add more blue. And I'm wondering if I should actually put silver in, or silver paint, or if I should just go in with a fresh green and paint in a lot of the feathers, because that's really what you see on peacocks. You don't really see the quill of the feathers. I mean, it's there, but you just see a lot of feathers, Whereas if I leave it like this, there are no feathers other than the eyes. So that might give more of a lovely feathery look. But first I'm going to cover this part of the body with the same colour blue that I used in the blowout, and hope I can get rid of the silver. And then I need to decide whether to leave the body like this or make it the same blue that's in the eyes. And that will be, obviously I can't do it right now. I need to cover the silver with the more opaque blue. But that would give it a nice glow, I think, against the background, and leave the background just as it is, because it's such a pretty combination of colours. And I think with some feathers in between, instead of worrying about adding silver, it will have a nice effect. So again, please tell me what you think in the comments. Am I doing the right thing? What would you do? And how should I progress? Even if it comes after I've published the video, it doesn't matter. Give me ideas for my next video. So I'll continue to see if it seems like this is covered, and I need to do it around there as well. And it just formed part of the background, so it's fine. So I don't need to add any black anyway. That's great. I colour the inside of the body with the same blue that's in the design, and it looks almost like it's part of the design. I'm going to put some green back in here, and I'm using just pure green. I'm not adding any. I'm not using the green that I painted. Well, it's the same colour, but I'm not using from the jar because it's a bit runny. And holding it up like this, the paint starts running down. So I'm just using it quite thick. And so now should I add that lovely ultramarine blue to this part?